Well, it seems like you can finally put the nail in the Timberwolves coffin because after game five, I do not see how they can come back. Now, I would not be surprised if they come back, but Nikola Jokic just proved why he's the best player in the NBA, and he did it by exploiting every single thing the Minnesota Timberwolves do. Rudy Gobert, he got exposed tonight. He took it personal that he was going up against the Depoy, the Defensive Player of the Year. Nikola Jokic just took that matchup extremely personal. All right. Karl Anthony Towns cannot guard him, and Karl Anthony Towns just got hurt again, re-aggravated that meniscus, so he can't. He's even more handicapped, and he couldn't guard him fully healthy. He's not going to be able to guard him with one leg. He is toying with Naz Reid in the paint. Naz Reid, he had a great game too, but could not guard him. And then everything else, you make any type of mistake, he's just exposing it. And that's what happens when the media gets too high on a certain team. And yeah, that's what happened in this case. Now, can the Timberwolves come back? Obviously. The series isn't over till one team wins 4 games. But they better lock in. They better go back to Minnesota, right? Yeah, Minnesota. Sorry, it's very late. They better go back to Minnesota and figure out a new type of game plan because I'm just watching this game, right? Outside of what Jokic is doing, we're going to go back to talking about Jokic because what he just did was special. But outside of that, Denver Nuggets just kept changing their defensive schemes, and they would keep going back. Like, it was the same scheme they ran over and over, and the Timberwolves just had no answer for it. Now, a very telling sign of this is when the Minnesota Timberwolves got 3 straight offensive fouls because they just kept falling for whatever trap the Nuggets were doing. And that's just telling. Now, obviously, it wasn't the exact same play that happened 3 times, but it just shows you, like, the Timberwolves are falling into every single trap the Nuggets' defensive schemes are playing them into doing. Like, they're getting baited very badly right now. Anthony Edwards can't get off because he gets double teamed every time. And anytime he gives the ball up, the rotation's already there, and nobody on the Timberwolves wants to shoot the ball outside of Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. But Karl Anthony Towns needs to be wide open to shoot the ball. Rudy Gobert can't hold on to a basketball to save his life. That's officially been confirmed because he just loses it every time on offense. Jaden McDaniels is not playing with any type of confidence. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I'll give him credit. He's confident. Monte Morris, he's been doing good enough. I mean, he hadn't played the whole series, it feels like, and he came in. He did a job. He was one bright spot. No Mike Conley's really going to hold this team back. Hopefully it's only a 1-game absence, but it's an Achilles injury. You don't play around with those, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's just out for the remainder of the series. But the Timberwolves got to figure out how to attack a defensive scheme and how to beat it. Like, I just don't understand how you can fall into this many traps. Like, it was one scheme the entire game, and you didn't get comfortable at all. Like, I understand starting the game off and not being comfortable and having to ease yourself into the game, but that defensive scheme that the Nuggets ran tonight just completely waxed the Timberwolves after, halfway through the second quarter. After that, they were cooked. And yeah, if they weren't cooked by then, Nikola Jokic would have made sure they were cooked. He just went off for 40 points, 13 assists, and 7 rebounds, I think. Yeah. He's the best player in the NBA. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. What he just did was insane. I could just keep telling you everything that I just witnessed about that, but we have another game to talk about. So I'm just going to leave it as Nikola Jokic is going to win back-to-back finals MVPs the way he's playing at right now because there's no team that can stop him. This is the hardest series. This is the hardest matchup for the Nuggets. If they get through the Timberwolves, they should win it all. So as I look at the Thunder, Mavericks, none of them can stop Jokic. I mean, it's going to be a disaster. I feel like we should know this. The Nuggets are only getting better right now. I mean, Aaron Gordon is finally coming to the playoffs. Jamal Murray is finally coming to the playoffs. Outside of in his little fourth quarter heroics, he's actually starting a game and finishing a game and playing well. The only thing the Nuggets have that is problematic for them right now is Michael Porter Jr. because he has not been able to get off in the series, and he has not been able to do anything because of that. But I don't think, like right now, the Timberwolves got Jaden McDaniels guarding him. I mean, Jaden McDaniels is a very good defender. He's probably the Timberwolves' best perimeter defender. I mean, Anthony Edwards is definitely making his own case right now, but I mean, that's what's happening right now, and he's not going to be able to score on him. I mean, and we're seeing that. So the only negative for the Nuggets right now is Michael Porter Jr.'s production on offense. But their bench, Christian Brown, he's been up for the moment. I mean, there's a lot to like about the Nuggets. I just hope, now I'm going to say this about the Knicks Pacers in a minute here, but I just hope the Nuggets don't get too high over this victory, because there's a real possibility they come out sluggish in Minnesota with their foot not on the gas. And if that happens, it'll give the Timberwolves a lot of breathing room. But the Nuggets have to come, the Timberwolves have to come out firing. And if that's the case, then the Nuggets not coming out playing, that's just a recipe for disaster. Every time you see in NBA history, when a team has a chance to put a team away and they come out sluggish, it does not end well in Game 7. So Nuggets, be worried about that. I have faith in the Nuggets, but I will be rooting for the Timberwolves still, just because. And that message of not getting complacent for Game 6 on the road applies to the Knicks as well. Since the Knicks are going to go to Indiana, the Knicks might be more susceptible. Oh, I cannot pronounce that word. I hope y'all know what word I'm trying to say. I just rewound that 8 times and did not get the pronunciation right at all. But I hope you get it. The Knicks are more suspect to having that issue happen in Game 6 on the road in Indiana, because, well, they won by blowout fashion today. There's not much to talk about this game other than Isaiah Hartenstein. Great redemption game. I know I called you out after the last game. Well, you redeemed yourself. I better see it on the road. Jalen Brunson looks healthy again, and he's got an extra day rest in between Game 6. So I expect another performance like that. The Knicks are finally figuring out the schemes. But for the Pacers side of things, Tyrese Halliburton, can you tell me why you're not being aggressive in Madison Square Garden? Are the lights too bright? Because if they are, you can let us know, because you got to look to shoot the ball. You had layups and you're trying to pass it. Now, I get you're the leading assist guy in the league. The announcers even said that. But, at a certain point, you got to understand, you're supposed to be the best player on the team. Go score a basket. Your team needs a basket. You got to get the basket. Sometimes, when you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And that analogy applies to Tyrese Halliburton, because he was not aggressive at all. That was making my head hurt. But, yeah. That's what I got to say there. The Pacers need to figure out how to win on the road. But first, they got to win at home another game, which I would not be surprised if they won at home, because the home teams won every game. And the Knicks have not traveled well in this series. But again, Jalen Brunson is healthy. Isaiah Hartenstein's redeeming himself. And the Knicks just play with a lot of energy. But the home court does factor in for the Knicks very heavily. So I'd be worried about them on the road, just because they don't have the crowd, especially knowing how the Indiana Pacers home crowd has been. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. My predictions for Game 6 of each of these series. I want to pick the Timberwolves to beat the Nuggets. I just don't know how it can happen if Nikola Jokic is going to do that. I mean, we got to see how the other guys are going to be for the Nuggets in Minnesota. We're picking the Nuggets because of the fact Mike Conley's out, and I just don't foresee them figuring anything out. And the Nuggets are more experienced. And then for the Pacers Knicks, I'm gonna predict the Knicks to. I'm gonna predict the Pacers to win, just because the Knicks home court can't travel to Indiana. But yeah, let me know what y'all got for the next games. I'll see y'all back on Friday. Maybe I'll get my wisdom teeth pulled on Thursday. So, oh wait, no, I'll see y'all tomorrow, because we got Celtics, Cavs, and Mavs, Thunder, which will be good. But yeah, y'all have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.